It is time for some more mental fitness with Wyoming Behavioral Institute. And in the house this morning, we have Karen. How are we doing today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I am doing great. One of the biggest topics, I think, and I know you think as well, in mental fitness is, of course, anxiety.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through it. Everybody deals with it. I think people know what it is for the most part. But why is it so important that we talk about it, Karen?
Well, right now, school is about to start. And school has historically been a stressor for kids, for their parents, for families, and stressors sometimes are a little too strong and it causes anxiety.
Now, when you talk about stressors, we think stress. Is stress different than anxiety?
So stress is kind of like a normal part of life. We can't really get through life without some stress, right? Going back to school is a stress, meeting the unknown is a stress, meeting new people is a stress. With anxiety, it's more of a bodily reaction to a way of thinking that causes excessive fear.
Right.
Almost irrational at times, and really can not only cause bodily sensations, but shut down the brain and not allow it to think.
Absolutely.
And, you know, there's one thing that I really found interesting about the brain is if you use your hand as a model and kind of tuck in your thumb and wrap over your fingers, it's kind of like a brain.
It's a beautiful figure.
And so this
The brain's
part
not that pretty then.
is your
not a pretty
cortex.
fist. Okay.
The cortex is where you do your thinking, okay? And then this inner part could be like your limbic system,
Oh,
which
right.
is emotional things. And so anxiety is like a very strong emotion. And if the emotion gets too strong, you blow your top and it starts taking over.
Can't have the top off.
Right. I mean, you can't make good decisions. You can't learn your lessons.
Right.
You're like floating out there, not really doing what you need to be doing.
So when you lose that top and you kind of lose focus, can being anxious and having anxiety lead to harmful measures?
You know, one of the first outcomes I think that I think people forget about is that it leads to avoidance. And you avoid things that would be beneficial, like meeting new people, having more time, you know, having positive relationships with people is one of the more resilient activities you can do. It just really builds resilience for a person. It helps them overcome the stressors in life.
And when you want to get help, what's the best way to deal with it? Talking to friends and family, doing some fun activities. What would you say to the common folk on how to get better?
Yeah, both of those are really good suggestions. You know, we live in Wyoming, a beautiful state, lots of nature.
The best.
It's very healing, very, very good. The coping skills are very personal. One of my favorite one is using my breath and focusing on something I appreciate. Kind of changing out that feeling of anxiety for a feeling of appreciation, and regulating my breathing, which also helps regulate my nervous system.
Sure.
Sometimes these things aren't like strong enough to really help if somebody's really stuck in a very anxious state.
Right.
Feel like you're having a heart attack. It can be very overwhelming. Then, you know, you need to talk to a therapist. You need to get some professional help, maybe get a diagnosis. There's several different diagnoses that occur from anxiety, like social anxiety disorder, panic disorder, agoraphobia, and therapy with like cognitive behavioral therapy that helps you challenge the way you're thinking, look at some of these thought patterns that are causing excessive fear, or use of medications.
Well, it definitely seems like a big challenge if you're dealing with that. And I know at WBI you guys can give a lot of great help. Before we wrap up, what can you guys do for people who are suffering?
We offer 24-hour assessments. And anytime a person needs to talk, they're welcome to call and be evaluated so they can find the right level of care, and we'll do referrals to different therapists. We have inpatient psychiatry, you know, hospital with 24-hour care.
Well, thanks for all those great information topics there, Karen. We're really touching on anxiety. Everybody deals with it, and everybody should open up and go through the process to heal, because we got to get through it somehow, and we got to get through it together. Karen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.